Call of Duty Rec League. Here we are, the second match of a night. We had an absolute banger in the first series, and hopefully we get a replication of that again. We got Diver Jim with the Bal 27 out. It looks like we have some agreements between these teams. I wouldn't recommend doing that to anybody, but hey, Destin, I don't think we can do anything to stop them now, can we?
I don't think we could do anything to stop them except call it out on our stream, make fun of them, you know, public
No, don't do that.
In any case, Paris Letdowns, though, despite the foul being pulled out on the other side, doing pretty good on this P1 here, 26-3. Definitely not a repeat so far of what we've seen in that first 6-star hardpoint in that last series. Paris Letdowns, though, giving up that P2 side, except Sleeper is creeping there. He might get cut out. We see a knife come into play. Teji doesn't need a pistol to get a kill here. Paris Letdowns, though, did a perfect job at rotating over to P number 2. Boston still there, but Paris at least have some players trying to influence the spawns their way.
Most certainly are. You see signs with that MCW trying to make something happen, playing toward that back, and TJ or Teji. How would you say that, Destin?
We're going to call it TJ.
TJ.
Yeah, TJ. Boston still on the point, still on the P2 point. Tying this up, Paris Letdowns really trying to drop the ball here, getting into that P3 over at that pool side, I think it was. Now, Boston, though, doing pretty great in the kills feed. Slippers on a 9-3. Not on a streak as far as I know, but 9-3. Pretty good start here for Boston in the slaying department. We're going over that P number 3. Paris has it to start, but Boston creeping up that pool side. If Boston continues to win their gunfights, they're going to have P number 3.
Absolutely. This is a hill you can probably find a good chunk of time on. I haven't, of course, you don't see it played among the professionals just yet, but I mean, you can just kind of tell from the environment that you might be able to find a good chunk of time on here. Paris Letdowns, nobody really frying thus far. Trisk on a 6 streak, he finds that cruise missile. So you're going to want to keep an eye out on that in the future. But Paris Letdowns trying to accrue a lead here, and they're doing a very solid job of it. They got plus 20 right now, but Boston Burgers looking to break in for that scrap time.
Yeah, Boston Burgers could tie it up here. Paris Letdowns start with the point, but Boston, they just killed their way into it. Now Paris is setting up for that P, not exactly. P number 4 is that pool, right? Boston actually has P number 4 unlocked. Paris has kept going towards P number 3. You see them actually kind of wrap around widely to get to that P number 4. But Paris is just getting cut down by Boston, just kind of turning all around that pool area. Paris, they're going to come from that old hill. If Slippers can read this, it might be very fortunate and lucrative for him. Paris still hiding around the point. Boston, though, they're in the pool. They're swimming their way up. Cruise missile does go down pretty early into the map, interesting enough, but Boston still making things mixy at that point.
Most certainly are. You see player 6 watching the cross should be able to pick up Diver Jim, and they do. Tristy off to a hot start, 11-6 for the man. Rival 9 in the pool, though, for Soko. You know it's going to be so tough to get him out of this pool, and you can see exactly why. 20 seconds left on the clock, so a good, fair amount of time for the rest of this hill. But you got to remember, for the Boston Burgers, they rotate to this new one. It's going to be at that bottom right side of the map. You're going to have a lot of real estate to work with, but they might be a little late here on this rotation. Sleeper's going to be creeping up on them.
Sleeper's going to be creeping up, but gets put down back to bed as he slips up. Slippers, though, trying to defend a point. He knows that Paris is coming around. He knows there's going to be a second assault. Boston knows that they're spawning out. They know to expect the Paris members. TJ getting some shots in, but actually ends up going down. Paris breaks into the point, but Boston has the numbers at this point. Paris still spawning quite near. We see TJ maybe trying to influence the spawns, or at least get some stragglers as they come out of the spawn area, but Paris is being so dominant on the point for so long that it might not even be worth it in a couple of seconds to even keep going at this point. Boston floods in, but Paris is just getting the kills. Slipper is finally able to break into the point, settle that P5 once and for all, I think. Maybe not. Paris is still attacking it, but P1 is definitely the focus for both these teams going into next rotation.
The first rotation of hills goes the way of the Paris Letdowns, but how will the Boston Burgers bounce back? in the second rotation. You got TF3 here trying to lock down just any space he can. You don't necessarily need to get that time, but he is going to be able to hop on it. 136-93 is the score line. Boston Burgers could be letting things slip away from them quicker than they'd like. They do find a good chunk of those kills, but Sleeper comes in with a big two-piece to sneak onto that point. Soko's still around right there, but at least for Paris Letdowns, nobody on the time just yet.
Nobody on the time just yet, giving Boston a little bit of an opportunity to tie things up once again. Paris, though, they want to get whatever time they can, maybe keep Boston off the point. Boston is holding strong so far. The bigger problem for Paris is that they're nowhere near P2. Boston has it in their clutches. They're going to look at this pool side a little bit, maybe too push up for Soko, but regardless, B2 solidly in their hands. Paris Letdowns do get the scrap time, still kind of maintain a 30-second lead here, but Boston, if they get a good solid 60 on his P2, they will take the lead. Paris is just getting cut down as they step up to the plate here.
Boston Burgers in a ripe spot to make a comeback here from the short lead that Paris Letdowns have. But this hill is very easily broken. You just got to find a couple of those kills, and they do. Diverjim and Soko, though, they're trying to strike back and maybe keep it alive for him. You see the Boston Burgers flooding in from that bottom side of the mini-map. Slipper's able to pick up on TF3, and it's Sleeper all alone. You can't find the kills behind that. We might have our first lead change in quite a while here for the Boston Burgers. Paris Letdown's going to have to give this one up and move on to the P3. Tristy doing a great job of picking up that mid-map control. You see all the arrows in the right spots for the Paris Letdowns. Boston Burgers going to be in a tough spot rotating here, but after a very solid P2, it's one break away from maybe a solid lead here.
Yeah, it's now Paris' turn to put up a solid defense. You have Mr. Tristy in the center there getting a kill on the Soko, but Boston approaching from poolside, putting up an attack, but getting shut straight down by Paris. Now coming from the other side, spawning in mid-bottom map here. Going to just kind of run up and get two of them goes down on either side. You still have TJ. TJ gets a two-piece. Slippers combines, and Paris Letdown gets wiped off the point in record fashion. They do have spawns for the next point P4 in that pool area, but they're still going to throw some members at this point. If they lose spawns for P4, this could be a disaster for them. The Paris doing good at winning gunfights, except Boston's getting the scrap. Paris is still spawning there, but nobody's going to be at that P4 when it spawns. Interestingly enough, Paris just keeps pushing towards the right side of the map.
And I'm going to let you know before it gets too late, Destin, that player that we've been calling TJ, it is pronounced Teji, so keep that in mind. We got some sources in the chat, so Teji from now on. Sorry about that, everybody. Boston Burgers have accrued a sizable lead now, 188-163 and counting. Paris Letdowns forced to break sooner than later if they want to stay in this game, and they do. A big couple of kills go their way. The Boston Burgers forced to battle from that pool side of the map. Double beat down from Teji right there. 34 seconds left on the clock, so a lot of time to accrue here. Boston Burgers could really put that out of reach. The Paris Letdowns still spawning in the back, so it's not over for them just yet. But even after this P4, they're going to have to rotate a long way to make it to that P5. And you see Diverjim already on the way.
Diverjim all the way on, already on the way to that P number 5. You see Boston just kind of setting up around it. They can win it here if they get a solid 60. Paris only has one member to throw it at so far, but Diverjim goes down. Boston, they're going to be on this point to spawn. You've got Paris kind of all over the place a little bit. That number 7 player can be so influential, though. If they could get number 3 out of the spawn area, they might be able to influence spawns. Sleeper able to do it. Boston still taking control of the point, but Sleeper making sure they spawn on the right side of the map, but Boston is still spawning there. Boston able to probably get the Sleeper out of their spawn. Sleeper is just a Sleeper agent, it seems like, just hiding there in that couch little area. Boston has maintained control of the point, but I mean, Boston gets wiped out. Paris finally gets control. They stop Boston from being able to win it there. But Paris is going to have to do the very difficult and be able to chain this into a solid P1 out of them. Boston gets pushed all the way back. Paris, 50 points off from winning this thing. They don't want to go to a P2 with this current spawn setup.
Yeah, and it looks like we're well on the way to having an absolute banger hardpoint map 1 again. And I don't know if my heart can take that, Destin. These series have just been too good thus far, but let's see how this one closes out for the map 1. Tristy able to pick up a cruise missile. He's going to want to use that in the future because it is very powerful in this current state. Signs 30 and 22, having a fantastic game thus far. May be able to put another cruise missile. As I say that, they do not. They go down. The kill feed checkered green and orange for the time being, but Mr. Tristy with a big two-piece right there. Sleeper still alive, 33 seconds left on the clock, and sooner than later, the Boston Burgers are going to have to sneak in because the Paris Letdowns win it here.
The Paris Letdowns win it here. They have swayed this map perfectly. They just need to kill the Boston members as they step up. Boston doesn't really have time to put together a strategy here. They just got to get in the hill. Soko's going to do just that. Just going to contest the hill, but go straight down. Now it's up to divergent to slide on into that hill. Paris Letdowns all over it, though. Just the sheer numbers will win them the game. 250 to 222. Boston, I want to say, was on the lead for most of it, but Paris pulls away at the exact right moment that they need to and finish the game strongly.
They most certainly do. Paris Letdowns, they had a strong beginning and a strong ending. Boston up are fighting on the defensive end here for this opening, and it looks like the stabs are in. Diver Jim with the first, chasing down the second. Get TF3, get the kill. They do. 3v1 scenario, and that opening duel was not necessarily what I expected.
Not necessarily what I expected. Almost thought that was going to be quicker than the first round of that last map 5 there. Teji though with the knife, he's playing Scream. He's playing Friday the 13th in this round. Quick round, but Paris keep their momentum. Boston Burgers pretty much go down right off the rip. A lot of knives coming out. Diver Jim gets a knife. Teji pulls out the knife, but bringing knives to a gunfight, not the best strategy.
Yeah, we got knives out today. We got body shots. The Call of Duty Rec League player in me loves to see it. If you're boys with the other team, do whatever you would like to do, but the moderator in me would recommend you not to do this in your other Call of Duty Rec League games, because obviously these two teams have an agreement between them, and I'm just going to put that as a flat line on the series thus far. Paris Letdowns get the first blood, though, in this Search and Destroy. Let's see if they can follow it up with a first blood in the kills. Oh, Teji potentially going for the Ninja Defuse right here.
Oh.
And I think this has potential.
No. Oh no. Oh no. No, no, no. No. No fucking way. Holy shit. I think Paris Letdown's getting a little too comfy in those pajamas over there. A Ninja Defuse right under their nose. They're going to see that one back. That's an all-timer clip out of them. Jesus Christ. These rounds have been incredible.
You might as well just hand the Burgers the championship right now, because they've won the moral duel here today. They get the Ninja Defuse. And I mean, hey, you gotta tip your cap to it. I mean, that's like the old days. Like, you got your knife out, you're posted up. It's like those memes that you see, like, I'm about to get this nasty Ninja Defuse, and it's like some guy like legs up on the wall. That was that player right there. So shout out to Boston Burgers for making a good moment occur. But now they're going back to this A side, and Paris Letdowns, they're not necessarily ready for it, but the arrows will be shortly. You can see that for sure.
Boston Burgers get the bomb down on A. Paris Letdown up 1 in the man count. You see that rotation come through. Just Paris needs to just burn a little bit of time, keep Boston in their sights. Maybe get a pick here. You see them approaching, but Sleeper goes down. Mr. Tristy goes down too. Now 2 members of Paris. They're getting the kills back and forth, and they get 3 kills in rapid succession. They'll get that defuse. They'll go up another in the round count and maybe wash away the sin of that last round.
Yeah, I feel like after that, you just got to forget about it. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you know, Paris Letdowns aren't too worried about Ninja Defuse. I can imagine they're laughing about it in their call right now. If everybody was, you know, going super hard in this series, that Ninja Defuse would definitely, you know, take your soul out of your body for a moment. It's like, what? Nobody had bomb even for a second. Nobody checked that corner, but Paris Letdowns, they get the second round on the board. Let's see if they can string these together. We got some knives out for the Boston Burgers. Let's see if they find any kills with it. Big smoke from the Paris Letdowns on this left side of the map. Let's see if it pays off.
Let's see, it pays off. Mr. Trissy gets kill on the slippers. Paris Letdowns trying to get this bomb over to B. Boston
boy.
going right into their spawn. Paris sending gunfire their way. The bomb carrier goes down. Teji gets kill on a sleeper. Now it's 3v2 as Signs goes down as well. You see Mr. Trissy just absolutely surrounded. It's just inevitable that he goes down. It's all up to Team Fortress 3 over here. He's trying to get up the escalators, trying to pick up the bomb. Boston is just sniffing the area out on the hunt. If he runs around this corner here, he's going to meet a very angry Teji. They got to take off those pajamas. They are getting a little too comfortable here.
You see the head shakes are coming in. The BM is out and about. The pajamas. That hitbox has to be a little bit bigger than the regular one. I mean, I just wouldn't believe it if it wasn't. Paris Letdowns. I mean, they are comfy, that's for sure. But like you said, how comfy is too comfy? Because we might be reaching those levels right now. Teji 5 and 2. And I can only imagine a few of those are coming from that karambit in his hand. 3-streak for him. Can they find the cruise missile is the next question. 2-2 now is the search and destroy. Do the Paris Letdowns bounce back, or do the woes continue?
Teji throwing nades over this car here. Hiding behind a car is always risky business in Call of Duty. Could explode on you, but Teji opting to get gunfire instead. Signs brings him down. Divergent responds back with the trade, but Team Fortress 3 gets a kill of his own. Slippers goes down now. Paris Letdowns 3v1. It's all up to Soko to get this bomb onto A point. Paris all over A. That B bomb is clear, but Soko doesn't know it yet. Trying to shoot across the map with SMG. Kind of stuck in this corner here. Now Paris knows where he is. Soko's days might be numbered here.
We most certainly might. TF3 ready for him. The stun was out, but the shots are still good. Paris Letdowns bounce back. Make it 3-2. In the search and destroy right here. TF3 6 and 2 thus far. Oh, the hip fire is pretty solid as well. That player one shot as it can be. The Paris Letdowns, can you string together a few rounds, or does this back and forth match continue, Destin? That's the next question.
You know, statistically, Jake, I would say we have round 11 in the making. Just a man of statistics, you know. Just a man of statistics.
Big stats, guys, over here we are.
Paris Letdowns on the attacking side. Gonna maybe look to get this bomb over to A side. Mr. Trissy's gonna open it up a little bit. Boston heavily swayed towards that B side of the map. Slippers go down. That could be big business. Mr. Trissy goes down instead. Slippers gets traded out. That bomb is picked back up again. Divergent goes down across the map. It's all up to Soko. Looking to be a quick round here. Maybe Paris Letdown looking to break the statistic of a round 11 into making. The bomb is going to go down at A.
Most certainly will. Not sure Soko's ready for it. Point out as well, you know, it seems like the Paris Letdowns might be starting to buy into what the Boston Burgers are doing here. They're throwing smokes and running into spawn, so Paris Letdowns, they take their time. They say, hey, guys, just hold a pre-aim for a minute. They might run into him, and that is exactly what happened. Soko against the world now, it seems, in a 1v3 situation. Jumps right in front of player 6 right there. Paris Letdowns get another one on the board, and now you can say we are not well on our way to a round 11. We could be. You never know, but the statistics aren't leading to it.
Well, off the top of your head, how many games that go up 4-2 end up in a round 11?
Statistically? Well, yeah, I mean, that search and destroy that we just watched before was 4-2, and then it ended 6-2.
I just need a number, man.
Statistically, I'm leaning like 25%. Probably less than that. I mean, I'm not a statistics like guy or anything. Like, I'm not a math guy even, I would say. Like, I'm not a big fan of math. But statistically, it can't be a lot. I mean, if the Boston Burgers win here, I would say the statistics definitely lean further toward that direction. But Paris Letdowns, they have a chance to go to match point here, and that's when things get dangerous for the Burgers.
When things get dangerous for the Burgers, statistically, how many maps does the offensive team win when they get the bomb now? Because Boston Burgers have done it, and they are getting the kills. It's a 2v1 situation. It's all up the sign, but Divergent puts him down. We are back on track for round 11, statistically.
Statistically, of course. Let's see if we can keep it that way. Diver Jim with some smooth shots with the rival 9. Tap, tap, tap. Pizza, pizza, indeed. Shout out Little Caesars. Switching sides we are. 4-3 now is the round count if you weren't keeping track. Paris Letdowns looking good. TF3 really carrying a lot of weight on that team. 8-3, and Signs somehow still 0-0. That's just a little joke for everybody in chat because the scoreboards are broken. If you could not tell, Signs is not 0-0, but Slippers 3-6. Let's see if you can make it 4-6. No, you're 3-7 now. First blood goes the way of Mr. Tristy and Paris Letdowns. They enact that A long push or B long push for a second time in the game, and they are straight into the spawn of the burgers.
Did Paris just wrap around the entire map, or am I being dumb?
No, they did. They ran straight through long.
They're sightseeing. They're sightseeing around the map, and they got the bomb down on A. Teji is watching for a bomb carrier, but that bomb carrier gets away. Now Boston has to deal with the bomb. Teji gets a grenade kill on the sleeper. Mr. Tristy responds. It's a 3v1 situation in favor of Paris Letdowns. 2v1. Soko has a lot of work to do, though. Gotta get Team Forge 3. Gotta get Mr. Tristy. Gotta get the bomb. Maybe considering a ninja fuse now. Looking around to get one of those members. If he looks down this alleyway, he might be able to do it. They challenge both at the same time. If he gets these kills, he might be able to do it. Soko with the pistol, so close to making that happen, but Paris just barely pulls it out.
Paris Letdowns now at match point. The dreaded 5-3 curse has been enacted. Let's see if it stays that way. I mean, I've seen my fair share of 5-3s. I'm not sure how many 5-3 curses I've seen specifically of the Call of Duty Rec League, so maybe this is one of them. TF3 8 and something, Mr. Tristy 8 and something as well. Maybe make it 9. Boston Burgers. Let's see if they keep going back to old reliable sprint at him with the knives out because, hey, I mean, you're at a chance to go down 2-0 in the series, and this is a championship match. There it is.
Diver Jim pulling out the knife again on Sleeper. Slipper's getting a kill on the Team Fortress 3. Signs going to catch Diver Jim walking away from the scene of the murder. But still, Paris Letdown. 2 members to their name. Boston Burgers is outmatching them in the numbers department. Soko gets a kill on the Signs. It's all up to Mr. Tristy. That bomb will surely go down and be as Mr. Tristy looks for a pick, but is nowhere near to finding one.
Bomb's going to go down at that B site. Boston Burgers in a 3v1 scenario. You just got to close out this round. Slippers in the vending machine corner, and Mr. Tristy maybe reading onto it. He's able to pick up 1 on a 4 streak as well, so you want to keep that alive for those future rounds in theory. But Teji's going to be sprinting at you with the knife out. Mr. Tristy getting chased down. It's Scream all over again. The knife is not good. 23 seconds left on the clock, and this is super winnable. Mr. Tristy going to hop on that defuse, but it looks like Soko might be ready for it. And the round goes the way of the Burgers.
Round goes the way of the Burgers statistically. Statistically. You know what I'm going to say?
There's a 50% chance we go to around 11.
There is. That's actually crazy. You actually brought up a statistic to match my statistic.
You know, I actually had a statistic for the next map. If you were ready to hear that one, but we're not there yet.
Okay, I'm waiting in heated anticipation. I cannot.
You might have heard it before. I mean, I've said it a couple times. I mean, I'm not sure if you've heard it though, so we'll see. Smoke goes out yet again. I wonder what the Paris Letdowns are doing. They're running straight at it, but no, they opt to wrap back. They're throwing the good old fakerooski, but it doesn't net them a first blood. The trade is there, but it seems like the Boston Burgers, they should know what's going on this time around.
Boston Burgers should know what's going on this time around. 3v3. Paris Letdowns have a lot of pressure to get this bomb down. Boston is ready for it, though. You see that number 3 and Soko pushing up Slippers. Meanwhile, gets a kill. Paris Letdown on the back foot here, trying to wrap that bomb around, maybe. But Boston runs right into Sleeper. It's all up to Signs to pull out a 3v1 or risk going to a round 11.
Signs sitting at 7-5, having a solid game thus far, but not in a favorable situation when it comes to the statistics. It looks like Soko's reading into it, but Chow's all alone. Now a 1v2 scenario, and Slippers get spot as well, but closes out the kill. And statistically, Dustin, I can guarantee you this time around, there's a 100% chance we're going to round 11.
Oh, there's not a 100% chance of anything happening. Let's be clear. But it does look like, in this scenario, we will be going to round 11. Very interesting. What team was down 4-2? Boston, right?
Yes, Boston was down 4-2, and we were talking about that. So I mean, this one you can add that to the study. But let's focus up here, Destin, because this is when it really comes into play. 5-5 now. Paris Letdowns up 1-0 in the series. Can they make it 2-0 in the championship, or do the Boston Burgers make the comeback happen? They throw some tacks toward mid, but they are sending it toward this A side. They're just waiting for their time to strike. They're just trying to make sure all their ducks are in a row. Teji looking for any information they can find. Sleeper, though, may play spoiler.
Sleeper may pay spoiler. Diver Jim, it goes down. Boston, 3 members, 2 members are named. Teji goes down to hands of Team Fortress 3. Now it's all up to Soko and Slippers to make this happen. A little bit hesitant to go towards the A-bomb side. That hesitation might not be in vain as Sleeper has spotted Soko. Soko just hiding in the back of this truck here. A grenade goes out. Trophy system goes down. Soko trying to get a kill, but he's only got an SMG. Sleeper gives up his positioning. Soko gets a kill, though. 2v3. Very important kill from around the map here, but I don't know if anybody spotted signs. Could be the absolute wild card here. May not need to be, as Paris just wipes the floor and cleans up with Boston to win the map.
Paris starting to sweat a little bit toward the end of that map, but they close it out on top. 6-5 victory for them after being up 5-3 in this search and destroy. Game 3 of the Silver Premade South Championships. Paris Letdowns up 2-0 in the series with a chance to take home a championship right here on Karachi Control. But let's get into the statistic, Dustin. You win game 3, you win the series 75% of the time, regardless of the situation. So if Boston Burgers close out this game 3, I mean, hey, it's not over for them yet. You could at least say that.
You know, Boston Burgers was definitely watching that previous series, taking some notes here. Karachi Control, just like the previous series. Sleeper, 3 down on the side of 4 down on the side of Boston. You don't even need to sack that A side. They're not going to get there in time. And now Paris, it's all about how are you going to jump onto that B side. Boston is just rushing straight toward it. Signs goes down near that kind of alley area. They already get 3 members on B for the side of Boston. There's a good rush over there for the defense. But TF3 just in the dumpster area making a mess. You got number 6 still on the B control point. But if he goes down, it's going to be a world of trouble on the side of Boston.
Shots going into that player back alley, but there's still 2 on this B point. TF3, a lot of work ahead of him, doesn't find anything. Paris Letdowns, the lives, of course, still in their favor, but the Boston Burgers, they are pinched in here. You see that player 4 around the back, and I'm not sure they're reading into this currently. TF3 finds a kill from the front, and Mr. Tristy around the back as well. Slipper's going to be the last player alive. Not a lot of HP to their name as well, and you're going to see them stack the point. Word to Jims.
You're going to see them stack the point. Word to Jims. I want to point out, live count also is not going away at Boston, so even if they manage to get Paris off the side of A, which they won't, it's going to be a mountain for them to climb. Paris Letdowns win the offense in a really striking fashion.
7-2 for TF3, a fantastic round 1 for one of the CRL Diamond alumni. Switching sides now is going to be Paris Letdowns, and I mean, that is a fantastic start to the map 3 control for them. Mr. Tristy, 5 streak as well, so you're going to want to keep that in the back of your mind. Those cruise missiles can be very impactful. I feel like I've said that too many times today. I might have to come up with some new rhetoric on cruise missiles.
It's all right. We all go through a period in our casting careers where we don't have the proper rhetoric, as one says, in cruise missiles. But Signs wasting no time in getting the kill on the Soko. Diver Jim wasting no time in getting a response. That B site is under attack. Boston wants to get it done first. They want to get it done quickly, and Paris has been completely shoved out of the point. You have your hope in Signs to cross that dumpster, maybe get a kill. Diver Jim hiding behind the bar area, at least able to get a tick on the B. Mr. Tristy going to face him
Oh,
man to man.
no.
Mr. Tristy does go down though. Diver Jim still on the point. Eventually he goes down. Paris Letdowns retake B, but at the cost of maybe not giving enough attention to A. You see Boston maybe trying to stack up there.
You see Boston, like you said, taking the opportunity to go toward this A point, but it is allowed a double back switcheroony as the Boston Burgers are now on the B point yet again, potentially getting a second tick on the board. I mean, Boston Burgers, they're not well out of the possibility of taking home this round 2 offense, which would really put a damper on things for the Paris Letdowns. Sleeper with a big kill. I'm not sure they know that Teji is still around. Paris Letdowns, they just haven't really gotten a full wave of kills through yet to kind of slow down this map for the time being. Now Boston Burgers, 2 ticks on A, 2 ticks on B. Let's see if they can close out this round.
Yeah, and that B tick is going too. So while there's a battle happening at A, and Paris will win that battle at A, B is moments away from being captured. Paris just completely neglected B. All it took was Teji to get on it, and they won't get there in time. Teji scores B for their team. Now A is the area of focus, but Boston spawns 3 at a time. They get an early gunfight on the sleeper there. They're standing on the point. Paris, if they screw up here, it's round over for them. Boston just hiding behind walls on that A point. Paris will retake it. Boston, though, has some time to work with here, although lives must come into consideration for them.
Boston Burgers is going to be spawning bottom red for the time being. You see them spawning at that top side of the minimap, and that allows for an easy access route toward the A point through that red side. Sleeper, though, still around, is able to find one. The trades are not in the Burger favor, though, as Teji picks up 2 kills. Mr. Tristy, a lot of work ahead of him, is able to find one, can't find the second, and that should be the offensive win for the Boston Burgers. They strike back with an offensive win of their own.
This is kind of going the way of last series, 1-1 offensive wins. I don't know, statistically, if we were to get a reverse sweep, this is kind of parallelism here. You get what I'm saying, Jake?
If that's the case, then you definitely cannot watch anime tonight, that's for sure. Mr. Tristy, 10-4. TF3 11-6, having some fantastic games. On the other side, Boston Burgers not slaying the best, but they are keeping this game close. There's no doubt about that. 1 defense away from sending it to match point here in this game 3. Paris Letdowns trying to get on that point. These first kills are everything. It looks like Paris Letdowns doing exactly what they need to do. Oh no.
Paris Letdowns maybe not doing exactly what they need to do, but an attack is happening here at the A side of the map. B is just not a concern for either team at this point. Signs of getting the trophy down on A. They really want to seal the deal here. Boston has 4 members, though, ready to pry them off of it. Signs gets off. Sleeper gets on. Boston still have some eyes onto the point, but Paris is just winning the fights that they need to. Boston is going down. Diver Jim maybe able to stop a little bit of the bleeding here. We're going to ignore what we saw there. Signs, pistol around the corner of that B bomb site. Now Paris is on B. Paris is going to step right back on the A. If Slippers goes down, this could be disastrous, but Slippers defending B so far goes down, but it's just in time for his teammates to get back on the defense at B.
Letdowns finally capture that A point, but there's still Burgers to worry about around the B point. 3 kills go their way. Now it signs against the rest as he is about to go down. He actually could stay alive here. Big opportunity for him to open up the map for the Paris Letdowns, and he does just that, but Slippers closes the door. You see Sleeper gets cut down as well, not ready for that push. The team nade, not so helpful.
The team nade, not so helpful indeed. B is still the area of focus. You see number 1 in TF3 maybe wrapping around to catch Boston off guard. Paris is playing it slow from the front, though. Not a lot happening so far. Pretty even in the live count. TF3 goes down. That's a big deal. Paris now only has to attack from the front, but Boston is cutting them down. We have Mr. Tristy still alive, but what more can he do? Signs goes down, red balcony. Mr. Tristy goes down. Paris is struggling to get a solid attack on this B point.
2 kills go their way, though. That might be the opening they needed. TF3 on this cafe corner, and the Boston Burgers trying to sneak on through. They're not able to find the kills. Now you got 2 players here for the Paris Letdowns. Slippers so one shot. Are they able to find 2? No, they won't. Slippers staying alive, but Sleepers here. Slippers and Sleeper, the battle of the SL brothers. Teji trying to make something happen with that knife, but can't convince any kills. 2 players stacked on this point now, but Diver Jim still around. The contest is there, back and forth. The pendulum swings. 7-6 life count. This round is gonna go down to the wire.
This down is going down to the wire indeed. 5 versus 5. Only one more respawn for each team. Both teams know what they're playing S&D at this point. A minute to work with. They just got to get a pick. Boston is not moving at all. Paris is moving a little bit, but not spotting anything. 2 teams are playing it so very carefully. You could hear a pin drop on a mat. Teji is going to spot this red balcony player in TF3. TF3 goes down. Teji gets out of sight and out of mind. Now the guns are firing. We're back to it 3v3. Even live count. Boston member goes down. No. Slippers gets her right back to 2v2. You got to watch that number 3 in signs, though. He's coming around the dumpster area. He's going to get 6 behind, but number 7 is ready for it, but he spots Soko perfectly. Mr. Tristy combines for the pinch, and Paris will win that on lives alone.
Paris at championship point here in the Karachi Control. A nail biter of a Karachi Control round. The Paris Letdowns come out on top with kills, not with ticks. So keep that in mind if this goes to the round 5, because I'm pretty sure if Boston find all the ticks here, then they get that defense. But hey, at the end of the day, what does it matter? Because a round 5 Control in a championship match can go either way regardless of which side you're on, especially on a map like Karachi. Paris Letdowns, TF3 18-12, Mr. Tristy 18-11. We've been pointing that one out. Been playing fantastic all map long, but you got to shut down this offensive push. Sleeper drops down onto Slippers. There's more work to do. Soko with some great shots with the striker of Diver Jim, and Teji locking down this top side. It might be another easy A capture for these teams.
Boston may be on the offensive side, but certainly defending their right to stay in this championship matchup right here. B is now going to be the point it may possibly come down to for the series, for the season, as Boston rotates round over to get a solid push onto it. Paris might let them get some feet onto it, but they overtake the Boston spawn, maybe pushing their spawners out a little bit, but Slippers gets a point kill on the signs. TF3 and Mr. Tristy respond back. Some kills going all over the place, but you still have that number 7 in Soko just kind of hunting around this, just hunting around the diner area. He gets a kill on the Mr. Tristy, and now all of a sudden, Boston are good to get onto the point.
Oh boy, that was almost bad. Diver Jim almost doesn't convert that kill. Boston Burgers in striking distance of hopping onto this point, but Signs with an enormous 2-piece almost makes it 3 to really slow down the Boston Burger push, but Soko's still around, so they're still going to have to strike here. Soko looking for this player, isn't able to find TF3 right there, but the reinforcements are around. Maybe a 2-on-1 here toward the back of this point, and Teji's going to win it. So now Diver Jim can stack this point with his teammate and maybe make something happen here. One push to rule them all. Can Boston Burger stay alive?
Boston Burger stacking the point just to stay into the game here. TF3 getting on it just at the right time, but he goes down. Mr. Tristy, if he could get some kills, he can save the game, but Boston, they take the offensive round. I don't know. You say they might have defense if they got all the ticks, which they did.
I think they do.
But it's offensive wins all around in this Control. No defensive wins so far.
You read my mind there, Destin. We've seen offense, 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 offense. So to say defense is the preferred side would be crazy. Now, wouldn't.
Statistically, would, yeah.
Statistically, defenses in this series have a 0% chance of winning. So Paris Letdowns potentially in the driver's seat here, potentially in the trunk. I mean, you really never know. It's hard to say. We're going to have to watch it unfold before our very eyes here. Paris Letdowns at championship point, as I said before. Boston Burgers trying to stay alive in this Silver Premade South matchup. Can they do it? is the question. Paris Letdowns, though, they got a 3-stack on that point, but they're not ready for the flank.
They may be ready for the flank indeed, as Paris just wipes out the Boston players trying to collapse on the point, and now that A point is gone. Boston is getting onto that B point in lightning fast speed. They know Paris is going straight for it. Diver Jim gets a kill on the sleeper. Boston, though, just kind of hunting around that B area. Paris doesn't have a good foothold. They don't really have anything to work with right now, waiting for their teammates to spawn, which thankfully for them, they spawn pretty close. But Boston just has this complete area locked down.
The little sneaky angle behind the bench right there picks up Soko a kill. Signs, though, is able to trade it out. Both of these teams slowing down a little bit. You can kind of feel how important this match is right now. This round of control. Paris Letdowns taking their time, a lot of time to work with, so you can formulate your push however you'd like. But you got to get some picks off the back of it. Sleeper pick up slippers at the backside of the map, and you might see the Paris Letdown strike, but the Boston Burgers should be ready for it. 2 kills go their way, and as Teji goes down, you should see them stack that point, and Mr. Tristy still finding kills over here, and he has some teammates to help out as well. Only 1 player on the point for now, but Mr. Tristy finding all those kills. You see him on a 4 streak right there. Signs is starting to make a play, picking up another one. 2 players on that point, make it 3. This might spell the end of the Boston Burgers championship run. They're going to have to make something miraculous happen, but Paris Letdowns are finding all the kills. They are your Silver Premade South champions destined.
That was an incredible ending to that control. I was going into the 2-2 control. I was thought that maybe the script was getting copied from the previous series.